video of the sloppiest channel on YouTube. Like, comment, and subscribe for all my fellow sloppers. Today, we have another video on everybody's probably like in the top 3 worst women on the internet. We have Valkyrae, who has lived her entire life on eggshells, trying to be the PR queen, saying exactly what other people want to hear, but nothing she wants to say. I want to remind you that Valkyrae seemed more disheveled over Sykkuno cheating on his girlfriend than she felt over the death of her own brother. And Valkyrae came out with a pretty insane statement on stream today. And, you know, I want to remind you guys that Valkyrae is a 35-year-old woman. She's dating Hassan Piker. She has apologized for saying no cap on a stack for real, because it's African-American vernacular. And she has surrounded herself with a bunch of people that she thinks are friends, when in reality, she doesn't understand that they're just coworkers. Until today, I think Valkyrae has now officially realized, title of this video, Valkyrae's life is over.
No, I have friends.
Uh-huh.
I just don't have close friends.
Imagine how this might feel. There's 2 options. A massive stab in the back to every single person she surrounded herself with, like Cutie Cinderella, Maya, and whatever other Asians she hangs out with. And her going live and saying that she don't really f with nobody like that is the same thing as Ludwig saying, I wouldn't go to any of these people's funerals. She's 35. She's in a dead-end career with a dead-end relationship. She has no kids. And Valkyrae, in 10 years' time, we will read about in the tabloids as being a miserably divorced, single woman with no children. And that's the God's honest truth. People look at these streamers and they envy them. I look at these streamers and I pity them, because the only thing they care about is content and fame and clicks and money, and they have nothing. Look at this 35-year-old woman living in a room full of Among Us plushies with Funko Pops decorating the wall. No family photos, no family mementos, no children in the background, no friends, nothing. Just an empty shell of someone who decided, I want to play video games for the rest of my life. The closest friend she has is her Squirtle plushie right next to her. It's embarrassing, guys. I'm not gonna lie, it really is.
I am friends with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I am friends.
Uh-huh.
I think friends are people that get along, right?
Uh-huh.
Friends. I just don't have, we're not close. And then it's like, what defines close? Like, did I bring you to meet my family? I think
These people, these streamers, are so detached from reality, they don't even know what a close friend is. A close friend is someone who still hangs out with you when there's no content plans in the future. A close friend is someone who hangs out with you when there's no incentive for them to be there other than they just enjoy your company. A close friend is someone you talk to your fiance about, your friends about, your family about. You show your dog, you let them come over to your house, and you hang out just because they make you feel safe, where you know the things you tell them will stay between them and you alone. And it's good that Valkyrae's realizing this, but to be realizing this at 35 is a little bit depressing. I do genuinely feel that all of these streamers that you guys enjoy and celebrate, you will soon realize they have completely obliterated their entire life because they never grew up. They never understood how to be an adult because they didn't need to. They've never faced real hardship because they faked their entire personalities for years. Guys, I want to remind you that Valkyrae said that she was close friends with Sykkuno for 6 years and didn't even know that he had a girlfriend. These people don't know what real relationships are. They don't know what real friendships are. They have no idea what the real meaning of life is. They are adult children. That's the truth.
I think knowing everything about each other is bare minimum, right? It's like, do you actually know everything? And it's like, damn, it's like, can I like force my friendship upon people? I was thinking I should message people and be like, hey, I know we're coworkers, but I would love to get to know you more. And then, but it's like, what if they don't want to get to know me?
This is a conversation that a middle school girl with a DeviantArt and autism has with their family. This is not a conversation that a 35-year-old woman has publicly in front of thousands of viewers. This is what I mean. These streamers are actively ruining their lives. When everything is all said and done, nobody is going to fuck with them at all. They will have no kids because they've been brainwashed by the liberal agenda to never have children ever again. They will have nothing. Maybe they'll have some money, and that's great. Maybe they can afford to be a sugar mama for some random husband on the street. But the reality is, don't envy streamers. Don't. Because these people aren't investing. They don't have an LLC. They're burning all their money, and all of the fame and enjoyment is temporary. Eventually, they will be left with nothing. And I'm telling you this, I'm not saying this to be a dick. I'm saying this because it's the truth. And more people, including chatters as well, need to realize what to focus on. Too many people focus on what is finite. Not enough people focus on what is infinite in this world, what is meaningful in this world, what actually matters. I'm sorry. Playing video games all day is not a good way to spend your life. It's not. It's very fun for now, but it will grow old, it will grow stale, and you'll realize that you wasted a lot of your time. If these games, if you're not actively fully enjoying them by yourself or with the people you love, and you're just playing games to pass the time, do things that will improve your life for the better rather than just pass the time for the now. Nothing is infinite though. Raising a family and building a legacy is what has potential to be infinite. My opinion. You can live your life however you want.
People overestimate.
Now, Valkyrae then decides to speak on the reality of streamer friendships with everybody's favorite streamer, QT Cinderella. Let's get on with it.
How much streamers know each other.
Yeah.
Ludwig said it best.
I am not your friend.
I'm not your friend.
It's hard because I understand it.
There's like a line and it's blurred.
It's funny too because
By the way, they're only talking about this now because now it's the popular thing to do. It's true. Now that the glass ceiling has been broken when nobody was previously allowed to break it by people like myself, of course, and XQC and Asmongold, people realize that all of these friendships are completely fraudulent. Nobody in AMP actually fucks with each other. Nobody in OTV actually fucks with each other. Nobody in OTK actually fucks with each other. None of these people talk. They don't. Now, they might pass the time and earn a couple bucks by pretending to be friends with somebody, but none of them actually give a fuck about each other. And that's the God's honest truth. Nobody really ever has your back. People who I have completely f***ed my reputation over would ever have my back in the same regard that I have theirs, barring a few people. Barring a few people. For example, I would say Nuxtaku is a man who would always have my back just like I always have his, regardless of what they say. I don't give a fuck. There's a couple other creators as well. You guys probably know who I'm talking about. But a lot of these people, they don't focus on those relationships with people who truly have their back. And that's why I love the scenario that happened with Saikuno. Saikuno cheated on his girl. Yes, that was awful. They blew up that relationship like he f***ing raped somebody. These people are so quick to burn the bridges that they've built over the years for merely PR and financial gains. So immediate. And I think that speaks a lot. And Valkyrae is one of them. And we all saw it. Pokemon is another one. We all saw it. Pokemon and Valkyrae don't have a damn genuine friendship in their entire life, and they never will.
remember when we first started this podcast, I said something along the lines of like, yeah, Ray and I aren't really like friends.
We're not. We're literally got closer because we do this pod together.
The only reasons why you are getting closer is because you see each other as a means to an end, because you're getting financial motivation. And that's great that you realize that. If money and fame was not on the table, you wouldn't give a fuck about each other. And by the way, when Ludwig and QT eventually break up, that's going to be hilarious.
And people were so mad at me for saying that. And I was like, no,
but it's just true.
I understand where viewers will see, I stream with so-and-so every other week. That means we're best friends. It's like, they don't even know my name, you know? And that's actually really common because at the end of the day, like, we are coworkers.
Yeah.
We're very friendly coworkers.
And there's so many gamer houses.
There's so many gamer houses.
Is it not, to me, this is such a disgusting concept to only be friends with someone as a means to an end. Now, that's why I got burned in the streaming community, because I was the dumbass who actually treated these people like I genuinely cared about them. And that was my problem. That's always been my problem. And that's why I got so fucked, is because I was stupid. And I treated these people like they gave a fuck about me. I treated these people like I wanted to be treated. I treated these people like we would be friends for life. I tried very hard to make friends in this space. And to be honest, I have been successful, and I'm not going to name who, but I have at least 10 friends in this space that I know I will be friends with for the rest of my life. But I was trying to be good to hundreds of people. Many people in OTK, I genuinely thought we were friends, and I talked to them like they were friends. I confided in them like we were friends. I was there for them like they were friends. I lost sleep night after night after night for people who I consider myself very close with, that I soon realized that was a one-way street. And the moment it was inconvenient at all, I was thrown to the wayside. Same thing with the people in the gotcha space. People who I bet my career on would not have my back whatsoever. And it's pathetic, because being real and being authentic in this space is what's quickest to get you f***ed over. And that's why I say all the time, I feel like I'm a streamer who's witnessed my own death, because people thought my career was over. People thought that the bad guys won, but they didn't. And I had the very rare opportunity to see who would attend my grave. I know who was there. I know who had my back. I know who defended me when it was a strict net negative. But thankfully, they see now it paid off, because once again, the truth came to light. And I am still here, and I'm not going anywhere. I never will. I'm like that cancerous little black spot. I will never die ever. But it's very beneficial. And that's why people hate me, is because they thought that I was done, and I wasn't. And now they know that I'm coming back to get them. But I'm not going to sweat it. And people will get what they deserve in time.
Like move in together because it makes sense for rent. I've lived with so many people where I don't even see them. I lived at the Screamer house with Pokey, Janet, and Celine. During COVID, we hardly saw each other.
Yeah.
We were always streaming or always in our rooms and like hardly ever out and about. And it's the same with Sykkuno. Even though I've lived with him, I hardly saw him.
These people want you to believe that they're friends with other people for one reason and one reason only, and that is cross-pollination. They know if they have the impression that they are friends with another big streamer, that streamer's audience is more likely to watch them, because Twitch and streaming culture is very parasocial. And that's the truth. And I think it's pathetic that these people have turned one of the most beautiful things of life, which is not the family that you were born into, but the family you choose, your friendships, and completely turned it into profit and financial gain just because they wanted a couple extra viewers. And now it's all coming to light. And now everybody realizes that nobody really gives a fuck about each other. And it's uncomfortable. It's weird. It's corny. It's lame.
Yeah.
Ever. And also hardly talked, but we're friends, right? So,
Right.
Cause like, but then it's like, what defines a friend? I know you mentioned like, if I don't know your last name,
This is
then
what
we're
I
probably
keep
not
saying.
friends.
If I do not know your last name, we are not friends.
And it's weird how all of these people want to say, oh my God, you got to do this with that person. Oh my God, you got to do this with that person. Nobody actually gives a fuck about anybody. And that's what I've been saying for years. And I hate how it's come to this, but it's the truth. They only care about looking good, and they only care about looking as poised as possible to get an extra click or an extra dollar. And that's the truth. Streamers are frauds. They're crooks. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about anybody as long as they're lining their pockets. And I think it's cringe as fuck. And they stand for nothing, which means they'll fall for everything. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed that video. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.